Hey traders, David Frost, LazyGapTrader.com. In this video, we're talking about day trading. More specifically, we're talking about gap trading and how gap trading is by far the single most consistent and profitable day trading strategy you're going to find across the markets today. I do a couple of very specific things. Number one is I teach a course where traders learn everything they need to know about two specific gap trading strategies. The first one are the morning gap trades. This is where stocks that are gapping higher or lower at the open, generally from either an earnings-related announcement or some other news-related event that creates an opportunity for traders. These gaps create an opportunity for traders that can identify a specific level where stocks will A, first be drawn to, and B, have a price reaction from in the other direction. The second part of the course are the gap fill trades. When stocks do gap higher or lower at the open, they create what's called an open gap. At some point in the future, open gaps will be filled. In the course, I teach everything that traders need to know about the open gaps, how to identify them, how to trade them, which ones are viable and which ones are not. It all depends on how the stock is coming into that gap, whether or not it's a high-quality, tradable opportunity. All that's discussed in the course in great detail. The second thing I do is give traders an opportunity to get my gap trade sent to them each and every day at 9 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, 30 minutes before the markets even opened for business. Here's the email from this morning, and you'll notice we only had 2 potential morning gap trades on the board. It's Monday morning, and it was very quiet. There were not a lot of stocks gapping higher or lower. We have to take what the market is willing to give us. Some days we have 6, 7, 8 opportunities on the board, and a day like today, we only had 2 opportunities on the board. That's what the market was willing to give us. We're only interested in taking trades at the highest probability levels that we can identify, and therefore, if a stock is not at a high probability trade level, we don't want it, we just take a pass. This is not to be treated as a casino. This is the marketplace. We're trading with real capital, and therefore, we only want the trades where we identify the highest opportunity for profit. So both these morning gap trade opportunities today, Canadian Solar and JD.com, did not hit their levels. One came close, but it didn't hit the level identified in the morning email. Therefore, it's a scratch. It's off the board. However, I also come out with a list of gap fill trade opportunities, and there were a couple of opportunities on the board today that filled their gaps. The first one was CUDA, and the gap fill level you'll see is $24 even. It's listed as a short trade. Therefore, when the stock comes up to that level, we expect a price reaction in the other direction. We'll take a look at that stock. And the second one is AutoNation, AN. This gap fill level was listed at $42 even, also listed as a short trade. And we'll look at this stock and the chart accordingly. There may be other stocks that fill their gaps today. However, at the point in time which I'm making this video, we had 2 that filled their gaps, so I'm going to talk about those 2. The first one we'll discuss is AutoNation, AN, and you can see we're on a 5-minute chart, and you can see the horizontal line running across the top of the screen in some kind of fuchsia color. You can see that as soon as the stock came into the $42 level, making a high of exactly $42 even, it had a pullback, and just minutes later, the stock was at a low of $41.66. Not a tremendous pullback, but a pullback nonetheless. The stock then came back up to the 42 level, was rejected one more time, and you can see the stock then made a low of $41.38. Now, there's something we have to know about any kind of trading, gap fill trades, morning gap trades that may be on the short side. These are things that traders need to understand so that we always give ourselves the highest probability and the best opportunity for profits. And that is, the stock market today is higher by a wide margin. It's a trend day higher. The volume is very, very light, and that in and of itself makes shorting opportunities very, very difficult. Why is that? In a light volume market, specifically one that is trending higher, the path of least resistance for any stock is typically going to be higher. So trading on the short side is a very difficult endeavor in an environment like this. It's not to say they don't work, it's to say we need to err on the side of caution and we need to understand the larger market environment when placing trades. You just don't want to fight the market on the short side when everything else is going higher because of the light volume and the trend day up in the major markets. Which leads me into the next stock we'll look at, which is CUDA. On Barracuda Networks, you can see the stock did gap up slightly, not qualifying for one of our morning gap trades. It wasn't gapping up enough. However, you can see what happened. It came right into the $24 level and really didn't back off. It's trading sideways, and this is discussed in detail in my course. When we see this, it tells us something very specific is likely to happen with this trade. It's what we call consolidating sideways, and the likely scenario is that this stock is going to move higher at some point later in the day. So it's not a short trade. Even if a trader was to take this on the short side at $24, the stock gave us every opportunity and then some in order to get out of the trade, either break even or even slightly in the money. This is not a trade that we want to fight on the short side. Items like this and a whole lot more are discussed in detail in the course at Lazy Gap Trader. So while it was a very quiet morning in terms of the morning gap trades, I thought it was a good opportunity to give traders a couple of pieces of valuable information that they can use to their advantage with gap trading or just trading in general. I'm David Frost, LazyGapTrader.com. Thanks for tuning in, folks.